We are officially less than a month away from WrestleMania 39. So WWE is bringing in the big guns as it preps for the biggest show of the year. John Cena made an appearance tonight, and with Austin Theory unable to keep Cena's name out of his mouth, it was easy to predict what he was going to be doing. Seth Rollins invited Logan Paul to the show. Kevin Owens faced Solo Sikoa. Jimmy Uso battled Sami Zayn in the main event. Carmella took on Bianca Belair. And Johnny Gargano faced Finn Balor in a battle of former NXT champions. Let's take a look at what happened during tonight's show, for this is Ridiculously Raw. Welcome, everybody, to Ridiculously Raw, the most must-see show on YouTube and Streaming.com today. I am your host, Anthony Florio. MF Michael Fletcher. We are perhaps awaiting the presence of the Phenom Michael Bullock. If he comes in, we'll catch him up on what he missed. If not, then we'll have him back. Well, we will hope to have him back with us Wednesday night as part of Wednesday Night Madness. Monday Night Raw tonight. Wow. You want to talk newsworthy? Oh, this was newsworthy, to say the very least. And anytime you have a show that was live from, the TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts, the home of the Boston Bruins and the Boston Celtics, you know you're going to be in for something really exciting and really special here tonight. Was it the greatest show? No. I'll openly admit it. It was not the greatest show. But we definitely had a lot more good than bad. So, even though there was bad. So, but let's start it off. This Monday Night Raw live from the TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts here tonight as we continue on the road to WrestleMania 39. And now that we are in the month of March, I think this is really where we're gonna kick things into high. And tonight, did we kick things into high? SmackDown Friday in Pittsburgh. Good luck. That's all I'm saying. All right, let's start it off with our first match of the night. And yes, we actually did start with a match. It was not a promo segment. Hard to believe, but it's true. It was Solo Sikoa squaring off against Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens wins the match via disqualification in 11 minutes and 20 seconds after interference by Jimmy Uso. No surprise there. So let's break it down here. This was two brawlers doing what they do best. This was hard-hitting and felt personal. But they weren't just throwing punches. We saw some slams and other moves mixed in. We just didn't see any chain wrestling, which is not a bad thing when it's two guys like this. This is a combination that always seems to work. Solo Sikoa and Kevin Owens are similar in a lot of ways, but use their attributes in different ways. So they blend together perfectly as opponents. They won't put on many technical clinics, but they will always give you a good fight. It felt both predictable and a little disappointing. Sikoa and Owens were having a great match, so the interference and the DQ finish killed all of its momentum. The ending may have made sense from a storyline perspective, but it's still not ideal. However, Sami Zayn's arrival to save KO from more of a beating got a huge pop out of the crowd in Boston. Sami offered his hand, but KO did not take it. For a big guy, Solo Sikoa is a lot more agile and quick than he appears. He gets decent height on his vertical jumps. The second hip strike against the barricade did not look so great. Sikoa came nowhere near hitting Owens the way it was supposed to appear. And when KO and Sami finally reunite, it's going to be the biggest pop for friendship. You know, you can make an argument since Kane and Bryan Danielson, or as I said, probably the biggest pop for a friendship since D-Generation X with Shawn Michaels and Triple H back in June of 2006, and how epic that night was. So, and we could be getting that sooner than we think, if tonight's any indication. So there isn't much more for me to add on this. I'll give it about 3 to 3 1/4 for the effort, despite the DQ finish. Usually we would give a match like this an NA, but because it made sense from a storyline perspective, that's why I'm going to let it slide. So I'm going to give it 3 to 3 1/4 for the effort. So not much more for me to say here. Good old MF Michael Fletcher, come on in. Kevin Owens defeating Solo Sikoa via disqualification, 11 minutes, 20 seconds. Jimmy used for interference. But then Sammy showed up, cleared them out. He offered the olive branch to KO, but KO said, nah.
And quite frankly, he even said it. You made your bet. You guys lied in it, Sammy. You made your choice back in Survivor Series, and Owens is still harboring that ill will towards that. And quite frankly, I don't blame him, and I get it. But at the end of the day, there was some, it could have gone a number of different ways. But yeah, so there's really nothing more to add here. So Anthony, it is yours.
All right, MF. Then Bobby Lashley cut a backstage promo on Bray Wyatt. Nothing to speak of there. A lot of backstage stuff. Then we had a renewal of a rivalry that you had on SmackDown a couple years or so ago, MF. On the women's side, Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair, one-on-one with Carmella. Chelsea Green in Carmella's corner. Raw Women's title not on the line, of course. Winner of the match, 8 minutes and 55 seconds. It was the EST, Bianca Belair, the KOD, on Carmella for the win. And then after the match was over, Carmella and Chelsea went to work on Bianca until Kana made the save, if you know what I mean. So Asuka showed up and, well, MF, thoughts on all this? Bianca Belair defeats Carmella, 8:55.
Yeah, solid. To say the very least. Yeah, I'll probably say about maybe 2.5 stars. It was a solid match. It served its purpose, but the after was the real factor, and that was with Kana, aka Asuka, coming out, doing her work and everything else. But the next thing you know, the mist came out, and you saw that look on Bianca, like, oh boy. So she protected her, she saved her, because of the mist. But that's another weapon that Asuka could bring in that title fight at WrestleMania that Bianca's gonna have to be prepared for, and that is that move, that mist. That could be a game changer. We'll see, but yeah, solid. So Anthony, it's yours.
And now that I think about it, MF, I forgot to mention we have our first official match announced for Monday Night Raw in Providence, and oh, by the way, we're going to be there. By the way,
yep.
Bianca Belair versus Chelsea Green 1-on-1. So there you go. Just wanted to address that. So it's going to be very I mean, I was honestly expecting a tag team match to come out of this. Bianca and Asuka against Carmella and Chelsea. Maybe they're saving that.
But then again, we could see where a fight could break out, and a match could break down, and the next thing you know, we might end up getting it. So who knows? It could, where a match, and we've seen it many times in wrestling. It doesn't matter if it's WWE, AEW. We saw it at RWA at the Renegade Rumble. Yes, a one-on-one match broke down and led to a tag team fight. So it's possible we could get this next week.
Yeah. Solid match. It wasn't anything to write home about, but it was a good display of what both of these women bring to the table. It had a few awkward moves, but nothing too egregious. Chelsea Green's involvement brought out Asuka to spit blue mist in her face. The Empress stared at Belair and the WrestleMania sign to end the segment. When Mella pulled Belair's head over the top rope, it looked like the EST may have hit her mouth on the rope. She was fine, but that had to hurt. Green is starting to display some of the personality traits that made her such a good heel on the indie scene and in Impact. She can be a great addition to the division if WWE uses her the right way. The way Carmella hits a cross body is just slightly different than most. She sort of flies straight at her opponents instead of turning to the side, but Belair had no problem catching her anyway. I'll give this about 2.5, 2 3/4 of a star. So so that's what happened there. And then there was more Sammy and Kevin stuff backstage. Sammy, kept trying to, offer that olive branch to KO, but KO was like, no, still saying no. So, but anyways, all right. Now this was one of the segments that was highly anticipated coming into this show here tonight, believe it or not. Yeah, the Miz stood in the ring, and he's using he used his clout as the host of WrestleMania to be the moderator for the face-to-face segment between Logan Paul, who, oh, by the way, got crucified by those Boston fans like I knew he would, and I loved every minute of it. It was awesome. And Seth freaking Rollins. They exchanged their words, and then we made it official. And WWE has made it official. Seth freaking Rollins, one-on-one with Logan Paul at WrestleMania 39. All right. Let's dive in here. The crowd continued to sing along to Rollins' song for a long time, so Logan got some heat by telling everyone to shut up because they had a time limit. Rollins and Paul traded insults while The Miz stoked the fire. The Visionary ended up fighting The Miz and Logan Paul, but the numbers game caught up to him, and he ended up eating a knockout punch from Logan Paul. Paul relied on some cliche heel tactics, but Rollins made all of this work. This was a solid segment to build up their WrestleMania match. And let me tell you, Seth Rollins, they sold the hell out of that. He sold the hell out of that punch from Logan Paul.
Oh, yeah.
And WWE did not do a very good job editing out the non-PG chant the crowd had for Paul. It slipped. F you, Logan. F you, Logan. Just like the Montreal crowd did for Roman. So, but nonetheless, very good segment here. I mean, definitely one of the segments of the night here. No doubt about it. And I'll tell you what. When it comes to this, it had everything. I mean, it literally had everything you could ask for from a segment, as far as I'm concerned. This segment, the crowd, the energy, the back and forth, excellent television. And those audible FU Logan chants, you could hear WWE turning the volume knob down, because they did not get away with it. So fantastic segment. It's definitely one of the, I mean, it's between this and the other big segment that both delivered in spades. I'll have to do a little bit of some thinking on which one was better, but although I'm starting to get an inkling as to what it was, but nonetheless, a very good segment. Definitely one of the segments of the night. And we've got another match made up for WrestleMania. Seth freaking Rollins versus Logan Paul. MF. Wow. What a segment. The crowd, the energy, the back and forth. Yeah, they did a great thing here, saving it for Boston. And I don't think you could have asked for a better crowd to do this segment in front of, except for us, of course.
Oh, of course. I mean, there's no argument here. I mean, tonight what we saw was absolutely just sensational stuff. I mean, there's really nothing more to add. I mean, this was a great segment. This was a great body of work. And the thing is that, yes, what Logan Paul did was a shiesty thing to do, downright evil, whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the day, that's exactly what it needed it to be. No respect, no love, no whatever you want to say. And what he did was absolutely what he needed it to do. Garner monster heat from the fans and that the fans was gonna return him in spade by saying, go bleep yourself, Logan. You're and that's exactly what they did. So, and then of course Logan sticking the knife a little more deeper by basically reiterating the infamous words that that he gave that was said to him about a week ago on the show. So it was perfect when it needed it to be. I don't mind it. I thought they did a pretty good job with it. So Florio, it's yours.
And it's now official: Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul at WrestleMania. What a match that's
Yes.
what a match that's going to be. I'm telling you. So, because we know what Seth Rollins can do, and we've seen what Logan Paul can do. I mean, look at the match against The Miz at SummerSlam last year, and of course, look what he did against Roman in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
So, and based on what and let's not forget his performance in the Royal Rumble as well. So,
Yes.
yeah. So, Rollins and Paul, that's definitely got some potential there. So, but it's official now. So with that, we move on. Of course, what's this show without cutouts here? And we got a cutout here. Omos squaring off against Dolph Ziggler. Omos squashed him in 50 seconds. Good. Not much more to say on that. Obviously, it's obviously very simply put. Barely a match. That's all there is to it. It was just, give Omos the momentum going into his match with Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, which I think we all agree is going to be the worst fight of the entire show. So that's got dud written all over it. So just like this did. All right. Now, I only wish Bullock was here because this is a Bullock special. It's not often I say a Bullock special. I usually say an MF special or a Tony special, but this is a Bullock special. Because next up, we had a battle of two former NXT champions. Finn Balor, with the Judgment Day in his corner, squaring off against Johnny Gargano. Johnny Gargano wins the match in 9.5 minutes. But MF, Johnny Wrestling did not do it did not do it alone. He had help. Oh, did he have help? In the form of the rated R superstar, the Hall of Famer, Edge. And oh, by the way, we're gonna get Edge in Providence next week, baby.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Big announcement. Seeing Edge there. Yeah, it was a game changer. That was a humongous moment. It was a solid match. I don't know if it really needed the interference at the end, but it did. I don't mind it. I thought they did a really good job with it. I'll say 3 stars. I can't say anything bad about it. I thought they did a really good job with it. So, nothing more to say. Florio, what's yours?
3 stars. I 100% agree. These two weren't trying to match some of their previous performances, but they put on a pretty decent TV match. Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley looking up the ramp for Edge, so they didn't see Edge knock Balor off the top rope. It allowed Johnny Wrestling to hit the final beat for the win. Continued the trend of dirty finishes on the show and kept the Edge Judgment Day feud going. I know a lot. It's not for everybody, but it is what it is. As great as he is with Johnny Gargano, WWE needs to figure out something for Dexter Lumis. If Indy Hartwell is not going to join him on the main roster, then he needs to break off and figure out his own character. Finn Balor has great facial expressions. That is something he has worked on in recent years, and it has made him a much better performer. So, what I was getting at is that next Monday night on Raw, and from what has been announced so far, this is the most exciting aspect of the announcements that were made tonight. Edge is calling out Finn Balor. I think we're gonna get the WrestleMania match announcement next week. And we've heard the rumors. And MF, if we do get that announcement, and if the rumors are true, could you imagine if they make it official? Edge, Finn Balor, WrestleMania inside Hell in a Cell.
Oh,
Whew. that would be maybe that would rank as one of the greatest announcements we ever heard. Forever the greatest was the night we were there when Stephanie announced the Women's Royal Rumble.
For you, yes, I'll give you that. But for me, one of the other greatest announcements, and I was there for it, because I was there for the Monday Night Raw. It was the announcement by Mick Foley of the first ever tables, ladders, and chairs match.
Lucky you. I wish I could have been there, but
I was there.
Yes, you were.
For the inaugural announcement, which I believe coincided with SummerSlam.
Yes.
Which was the announcement of tables, ladders, and chairs. Oh my.
Yeah, we've had a lot of great announcements in Providence. That one, Stephanie announcing the Women's Royal Rumble, Roman when he announced he had leukemia. I mean, that ranks up there. But the one that of course, the one that always did it for me, and the one that will always do it for me, was when Stephanie announced the Women's Royal Rumble. That's one that we're never going to forget for as long as we live. But we'll take that with us. But man, this will rank up there. And for them to give this to us, oh boy. I mean, Edge in Providence. Let that marinate for a second.
Yeah.
Edge in Providence. What is that crowd going to be like when he comes out? Oh, God.
Yeah.
My sides are aching. My heart is racing a zillion miles an hour just thinking about it. Oh, that's going to be a moment for me. I can't wait. So, but three stars for this. I 100% agree. So, not much more to say on that. Let's continue on. And then they aired an ad, and WWE made it official. Saturday, May 27th, in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, WWE King and Queen of the Ring in Saudi Arabia. We got ourselves a very loaded Memorial Day weekend, friends, let me tell you. King and Queen of the Ring, Saturday, May 27th. And then the night after, Sunday, May 28th, AEW Double or Nothing. Let's go. So, not much more to say on that. Well, I know we'll have more details on that in the coming weeks and months. Piper Niven versus Nikki Cross. Piper Niven squashes Nikki Cross 55 seconds. Another dud. Not quite a squash, but it was close. What they did looked fine. They just didn't do much. So, obviously, nothing to speak of there. But now, we got something to speak of here. You thought that Seth Rollins and Logan Paul segment was something. How about this? This was the segment that we were all waiting for. Boston's own John Cena. And he was immediately interrupted by the United States heavyweight champion, Austin Theory. They had their back and forth. At first, Cena said no. But then Theory and the fans goaded the champ. And the match, and the dream match that we've been wanting for some time now, we're going to get it. WrestleMania, United States Heavyweight Championship on the line. The champion, Austin Theory, defending against John Cena. MF, I don't know what else there is to say except, as great as the Seth and Logan segment was, for me, this was the segment of the night.
It was the segment of the night. There's no doubt about it. I'm not even gonna argue that decision. I know a lot of fans are really excited over the fact, and now here we are, with the biggest moment in their career, with everything riding on it. And the thing is that at the end, we're talking about Cena, Big Fight John, to go one-on-one with the rising star of the, like, this is without a doubt one of the biggest title matches we're ever going to have at WrestleMania. I mean, like you said, this is for, think about this. 1 year ago, Austin Theory went one-on-one with Pat McAfee and had a sleeper fight of the night. Sleeper fight of the evening. Now he's going up against literally the golden boy of WWE, the face of the Ruthless Aggression era. If there's anybody who embodies an era of wrestling, this is it. Doesn't get any bigger than this. Doesn't get any more incredible than this. Yeah, nothing more to say. So, obviously, segment of the night, absolutely flawless. Can't wait. Excited as always. And yeah, nothing more to say. And Anthony, it is yours.
This was probably one of the best segments involving Austin Theory since he joined the company. But that is mostly credited to John Cena being the professional that he is. He probably got a lot of people to care about this match in one night, which is exactly what WWE was hoping he would do. I mean, what else is there to say about the man? Cena tore into Austin Theory, and it was glorious and spot on. Yes, Cena tore the U.S. champ a new one, and he completely dressed him down. But sometimes in life, you have to tear someone down in order to build them up. Let's see where Theory is at coming out of WrestleMania. Oh, and by the way, Cena also endorsed the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, as well. So that was quick and all that needed to be. So that's really all there is to say on that. So that was a very, wow, that definitely ranks up there as one of the segments of the year. No doubt about that. That was very well done. So with that, we move on to our next match. Another cutout match here. Chad Gable squaring off against Baron Corbin. Chad Gable wins the match, 2 minutes and 10 seconds. I'll be a little more generous on this, and I'll give it 1 star for the effort. I could very easily call a dud on this, but the other two were duds. Short match, but seeing Chad Gable get a win on television will always be satisfying. So, I mean, this all came about for Baron Corbin because he was tasked by the Maximum Male Models with getting rid of Chad Gable so they could recruit Otis, or Otis, as they want to call him. Gable hitting a rolling German suplex on a guy who is twice his size is always going to be impressive. So I will give him that. So that was a 1-star effort. Let's quickly set the table for, before that, we had one more big segment here. We had the new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Becky Lynch and Lita. They brought out Trish Stratus, interrupted by Damage Control. And as expected, 6-woman tag team match at WrestleMania. The one we were hearing rumors about this match as well. And now this match is now official. It will be the Women's Tag Team Champions, Becky Lynch and Lita, along with Trish Stratus, taking on Bayley, Io Sky, and Dakota Kai. Damage Control, 6-woman tag team match. That has now been made for WrestleMania. Not as great of a segment as the other two big segments were, but we did get a payoff. This 6-woman has been rumored for several weeks now, and and now it's finally now been made official. Damage Control against Becky, Trish, and Lita at WrestleMania. That's going to be something. So, not much more to say here. MF, how about it? 6-woman tag. It's now official. Lita, Becky, and Trish against Damage Control. It's been rumored, and now it's official.
Yeah. There's really nothing more to say. This is going to be excellent. We've been waiting for it. It's going to be exciting. And yeah, there's really nothing more to say, Anthony. So it is all yours.
Okay. Let me move on. And now let's set the table for next week. For Monday Night Raw, which will be next Monday night, live from the newly named Amica Mutual Pavilion, formerly the Dunkin' Donuts Center and Providence Civic Center in Providence, which myself, MF, and Michael Bullock will be at 1 week from tonight. Edge calls out Finn Balor. We talked about Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair squaring off against Chelsea Green. And then one other match has been announced. Bronson Reed is going to go one-on-one with Elias. So we'll see what happens with that. But now we move on to the main event of the evening. Sami Zayn, one-on-one with Jimmy Uso. Winner of the match in 10 minutes and 40 seconds. It was Sami Zayn. And okay. Crowd firmly in Sami's corner as he and Jimmy brought the fight out of the ring almost immediately. The Olay chants echoed through the arena as the show cut to a break with Sami in control. WWE gave them the last 25 minutes of the show, so they ended up battling through not one, but two picture-in-picture commercial breaks, a la AEW. This was definitely the match of the night, both for the quality of the wrestling and for the story that was being told. Sami is a master at selling anything with his facial expressions, but Jimmy was doing some great work in that area too. And then Jey Uso showed up toward the end, stood on the announce table, appeared to be cheering on his brother, but Sami ended up using his presence and the distraction, and it caused that roll-up win for Sami. Usos came face-to-face in the ring, and both men told a story with their facial expressions. The crowd went silent as it watched Jey walk out of the ring and hug Sami. Crowd popped as Jimmy dropped to his knees. And then out of nowhere, boom! Jey Uso drills Sami Zayn with a super kick. He screamed at Sami that this was about family and beat him down with Jimmy. And then Solo Sikoa came in until Cody Rhodes ran down to make the save. 3.25 to 3.5 stars for the match. And the way Sami Zayn is over right now is something you simply cannot force. This kind of crowd support only comes from years of hard work. Sami hit a nice sunset flip powerbomb during the second break, and the look on Jimmy's face after he lost was absolutely perfect. But this definitely put the show over the top tonight. The turn that, honestly, I kind of felt we should have got in Montreal. But obviously, we all know what Triple H's MO is when it comes to his creative team's booking, and that is long-term storytelling. And we finally got the first payoff. The first domino fell. Jey turned on Sami. Now, the other domino and the other payoff that we're looking for is for Kevin and Sami to reunite. And who knows? Could that possibly happen Friday night on SmackDown in Pittsburgh? That show just got interesting. So there isn't much more for me to say. 3.25, 3.5. MF, one an ending to the show. Jey Uso turning on Sami. The Usos and Solo beat down on Sami. Cody Rhodes shows up. Why do I have a feeling we could possibly we might, keyword might, be in for maybe a possible 6-man? Sami, Cody, maybe KO against the Usos and Solo next week. Could you imagine if we get that?
Yeah, we're gonna see how it plays out, but man, this was a hell of a match. This was a hell of a story, man. It was good. It was good. I mean, it could have gone a number of ways, but yeah, Uh, yeah, it was good. I really, really, really enjoyed the show. I really enjoyed how it played out. Um, Storyline wise, yeah, amazing. So, look, everybody's hoping for that thing in Pittsburgh. I think they might be holding it out for Providence. I don't know why. I mean,
Oy.
look, look, we've seen crazy shit happen. I apologize for my language, but
No,
I'm gonna
don't.
say it. I apologize for my language, but um, we see some crazy stuff in Providence, Rhode Island, and you
Mhm.
know the WWE loves Providence.
Yes, they do.
What if they're giving us the payoff? What
Oh,
if Owens and Sammy reunite at the amp next week? I think it's happening. I think they're holding off to give us that moment and then declaring that match for WrestleMania. I think that's happening. I honestly feel like we're getting it. I don't know why I thought about it. The first domino dropped. I think the other shoe drops next week in Providence.
I hope so.
I think we're getting the reuniting, and I think we're getting the challenge laid out.
Sammy and Kevin versus the Usos for the undisputed tag team championship at WrestleMania.
Yes, I think we're getting it next week in Providence.
You know what? You've made a lot of great predictions this year. Who am I to doubt you? I'm not doubting you. Nope, not at all. So I can't wait. I hope I'm hoping you're right. But with how spot on you've been with predictions this year, I'm not going to put it against it. I would love to see it. That would be awesome. So that would be a mark out moment, to say the very least. So, all right. So with that, MF, let's get to your overall thoughts. Yeah, we had a few. We had a couple of duds and a 1-star effort, but other than that, some solid to good matches. But the segments, the in-ring segments, and especially what happened tonight, and the Mania card really starting to take shape now, definitely made this an eventful show tonight.
I think that's why I believe this was at least a six and a half out of 10. Yes, it wasn't perfect, and there was some areas where it needs a lot of work, but there is a lot of build that they're working on heading to WrestleMania. And that's the key thing more than anything else. So, no, I think they did pretty well. I think they've done pretty well. So, pretty good, not bad. Six and a half for me. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, six and a half. I agree. It was an eventful Raw with some big yet expected WrestleMania developments and the big angle at the end of the night. But some of the undercard segments were rough, but most of the segments involving the stars delivered, especially the John Cena segment and the Cena and Theory segment. That was the segment of the night. The Seth Rollins, Logan Paul segment, that was the second best segment of the night. The women's segment, not as good as the other two, but at least we got a payoff out of that. 6-woman tag. That's going to be something at Mania. We did have a few. We had 2 duds. Omos and Dolph Ziggler was a dud, and Nikki Cross and Piper Niven, that was a dud. Chad Gable and Otis was not any better, but that was a 1-star effort. And then the other matches were solid to good to great. The main event was the fight of the night, and that post match brilliantly done. And oh man, if that happens next week, oh boy, that's all I'm gonna say. So, I mean, and what's gonna happen with Cody? I mean, I can't wait to see Cody next week. We're gonna have to wait and find out what happens. So, yeah, get ready, Providence. That's all I'm gonna say there. So with that, let's get into my Tony's take here, and we're gonna start it off with my thoughts on last week's Impact Wrestling, which was the fallout from the just bear with me for a moment. The fallout from No Surrender. The fallout from the No Surrender special. And with that, let's break it on down. In-ring segment, Chris Bay and Ace Austin, they cut a promo and they called out the Motor City Machine Guns, and we ended up setting the table. The main event of the evening for the Impact Wrestling World Tag Team Championship, as it would be the Motor City Machine Guns squaring off, defending against Chris Bay and Ace Austin. I'll have a thought on that in just a little bit. First match of the night, Shane Haste making his Impact in-ring debut. He went up against Speedball Mike Bailey. Mike Bailey wins the match. I'm just gonna go the other way here. All right. Speedball Mike Bailey wins the match, 14 minutes and 40 seconds. 3 1/4, 3 1/2. Hard-hitting match that made Shane Haste look good, but Mike Bailey is too big of a star to lose here. Haste is someone who will be around at Multiverse United and then leave, while Bailey is likely to be around a lot longer. Wouldn't surprise me to see Speedball in the world title hunt sooner rather than later, so he wasn't losing there. Kenny King one-on-one with Kevin Knight. Kenny King wins the match, 6 minutes and 1 second. Kevin Knight is someone who has potential, but for now he is in need of ring time. He wrestles an exciting enough style and can work with anyone, though King seems like he is on the way to a title shot rather sooner than later. Completely watchable match, though it didn't come near the next level. Then Mickie James cuts a promo. She was interrupted by Giselle Shaw. Gail Kim comes out, a rare Gail Kim appearance, and we made the match official at the Sacrifice event on the next Impact show. Mickie James will defend the Knockouts Championship against Giselle Shaw. And Jordynne Grace is going to get the winner of that match at the Sacrifice special on the 24th of this month. PCO squaring off against X Division champion Trey Miguel. PCO wins the match via disqualification, 8 minutes and 42 seconds. Eddie Edwards hitting PCO in the back with a shovel. I liked it. It could go from more with either being the good or bad guy here. Miguel having to run and try to survive against the monster is interesting, but Miguel trying to slay the monster as the underdog hero could work as well. Could have been more, but Edwards PCO is the real feud, and you don't want your X Division champion losing, even to someone as unstoppable as PCO. Main event of the evening, Impact Wrestling World Tag Team Championship on the line. The champions, the Motor City Machine Guns, Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley, defending against the Bullet Club, Chris Bay and Ace Austin. Winners of the match in 22 minutes and 4 seconds, and new Impact Wrestling World Tag Team Champions, Chris Bay, Ace Austin. History was made at Sam's Town in Las Vegas. Unprecedented crowning. Wow. Hell of a match. Fight of the night, 4.5 stars. And it was interesting to see the roles reversed. You don't see the Guns working heel that often, and while they were only leaning into it here, it was different enough to catch your attention. At the same time, the Club won completely clean, which is more than I would have expected. Awesome match here, and the Club feels like a breakout team waiting to happen. 8 out of 10. Main event is by far the best part here and anchored a strong show. They have some momentum coming out of No Surrender, but at the same time, they're now building towards 3 shows at once. That could get more than a little complicated, but at least Rebellion is far enough away that Sacrifice and Multiverse United can be covered before we get there. Very good show here, and I love pretty much everything. So this was definitely an 8 out of 10 from me on this one. Set the table for this upcoming week's show. Just got to find my notes here. All right. As I mentioned earlier, Mickie James will be defending the Knockouts Championship against Giselle Shaw. Sami Callihan goes one-on-one with Rhino. All right, MF, here's an MF special for you. Jonathan Gresham one-on-one with Kushida. That's an MF special right there. So there you go, MF. Gresham and Kushida, Thursday night. Get ready. So that's that. One other order of business, and that is NXT Level Up. NXT Level Up from this past Friday night. Just need to get it on my notes here. Okay. There we go. We started off with Lyra Valkyria squaring off against Tatum Paxley. And Lyra Valkyria in 5 minutes and 23 seconds. I enjoyed the mat wrestling to start and the trading on pin attempts. Got a little disjointed towards the end, but they finished before it went too long. I like what I saw from both of these women, so I'll give it 2 stars for the effort. Dante Chen against Luca Crucifino. Dante Chen wins in 4 minutes and 45 seconds. Luca is the latest on the show to make their debut and lose. Only the ones that have plans for it seem to get a win in their debut. Match was kind of boring, just a basic match between 2 guys. Crowd likes Dante Chen, and we're there as he made his comeback. Worst fight of the night, 1 star. And then the main event was Oro Mensah squaring off against Eddie Thorpe. And Eddie Thorpe wins the match, 6 minutes and 48 seconds. Pretty sweet match for this show. Best one we've had in some time, and both guys look good here. I'm excited to see what they do with Thorpe, as he is probably ready to be let loose on the main NXT roster. Good stuff, 3 stars. 7 out of 10. Main event was enough to make this a good show, and the opener was solid as well. Eddie Thorpe and Lyra Valkyria both look like breakout stars on the NXT brand, as far as I'm concerned. So that's it for that. So with that will put the bow on this edition of Ridiculously Raw. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in, as always. MF, start times, are they the same for this week's upcoming content? I'm sure they are. So
yeah, so this time around, we're gonna start a little earlier. So 10 o'clock for Wednesday Night Madness,
okay.
And then everything else stays the same. So Thursday is 10:30, and right now the docket is a little light. Obviously, we got the XFL. Of course, we're gonna be talking about. We also got it's championship week, so college basketball championship week, and we're going to cover that. And I know a lot of people were wanting my thoughts about the UFC this past weekend. John Jones was back, and I even mentioned about an upset. I'll get into it. So we'll talk about 286, what went down in Vegas at T-Mobile Arena, and yeah, that's the docket. And then of course Friday, per the usual, the Cerebral Smack Talk at 11 p.m.
And any word as it when it comes to Selection Sunday yet?
Basically, unfortunately, I won't be able to do the live show, or maybe. I mean, right now, I'm probably not going to be able to do the live show because of work commitments beyond my control. Because I had to sacrifice the Sunday to go to the Monday show, so that's why that happened. But I am more than willing to do that, and then from there we can go and see how it plays out. So we'll see. But yeah, at the end of the day, we'll see what happens. But yes, so Anthony.
Yeah, so I just want to be sure about Sunday so I can plug it.
So Sunday, 10:30. That'll be our show.
10:30. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
All right. So there you go. All right. So let's set it up. Wednesday night, 10 p.m. Immediately following AEW Dynamite, it will be Wednesday Night Madness. We got a big show. We're gonna review the AEW Revolution pay-per-view, and we'll also get into NXT, which is the Roadblock, and then AEW Dynamite, the Fallout from Revolution. So we'll get into all that on Wednesday night. And then on Thursday night, 10:30, TXN Sports World. There actually is one thing I'm actually going to add to this, MF, that we should have gotten into last week, but we missed. We made a little botcheroo because we didn't figure out the date of this. We're going to preview the World Baseball Classic. We're going to get into that, and we'll do the World Baseball Classic, and then we will preview. We got that. We also have Derek Carr. Derek Carr's got a new home, and we're going to tell you where that is. and then MF will then give the mic over to MF so we can give his thoughts on UFC 286. We'll preview week 4 of the XFL, and then in the main event, it will be our conference championship college basketball preview, and we'll do that on Thursday night, TXN Sports World, and then Friday night, 11 p.m. MF will have it, Cerebral Smack Talk, Friday night SmackDown from Pittsburgh. That huge 5-way match to determine who will meet Gunther for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, Karrion Kross, Kofi Kingston, LA Knight. Those are your 5. We'll get into that on Friday. And then, of course, AEW Rampage. And then Sunday night, 10:30. Unfortunately, we will not be doing the big live show that we've done the last couple of years. But, it's all right. 10:30 Sunday night. It is our first ever TXN Sport under the TXN Sports World banner, our Selection Sunday special. As you know, we're going to run down the NCAA tournament brackets, unveil the brackets, and we will do our predictions, and then which will ultimately end by the team who we believe will be cutting down the nets 4 weeks from tonight on Monday night, April 3rd at NRG Stadium in Houston, Texas. So that'll be on Sunday night. And then, of course, no Ridiculously Raw next Monday night because of the fact that myself, MF, and Bullock will be out late because of the Monday Night Raw at the AMP. So we're going to have a special Tuesday edition of Ridiculously Raw next Tuesday night, March 14th, probably around 10:30 or so, I'm sure. So maybe after NXT or a little after. I don't know, but it'll definitely be around that time frame on Tuesday night, March 14th, as we will review the Monday Night Raw from Providence and my Tony's take on Impact Wrestling and NXT Level Up. So remember, 1 week from tonight, no Ridiculously Raw, special Tuesday show next week. We'll be back at our normal time in 2 weeks on March 20th for the penultimate edition of Ridiculously Raw before WrestleMania. That's the second to last Raw before WrestleMania, and that'll be in St. Louis. So that's it. So until Wednesday night for Wednesday Night Madness, over on MF channel, Bracefit 95, immediately following AEW Dynamite at 10 p.m. Anthony Florio here for good old MF Michael Fletcher, and in spirit, the Phenom Michael Bullock, and of course, always and forever, the First Lady of this show, the Twisted Angel Dee Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw the Fortune Forest style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed couple of days, and until Wednesday night for Wednesday Night Madness, you've been watching Ridiculously Raw right here on the Zone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. And remember, my friends, no matter what anyone tells you beyond anything else, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who's been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long. Bye, everybody. Bye.